Welcome back. Over the past month, the international gay community has forced the removal of Queen Ifrica from the lineup of two shows, one in Canada and the other in the US.
Me and my lover just always a fight, but him know where for do for make me smile get bright. We want
this after the below the waist singer was blasted by the local gay community in 2013 for saying all who straight put up their hand during a performance at Jamaica's Independence Gala in Kingston. Since 2006, the global gay lobby has targeted and forced the cancellation of several shows in Europe and North America involving dancehall artists. But up to the gala incident, the protest was directed only at artists whose lyrics the community deemed as inciting violence against homosexuals.
right now we're tired of that. So me under bloodshed, so me under raping, so me under suffering, so me our fun in our life.
There is no perceptible violence in Queen's music. What really then is the gay community's beef with the Flame artist? She's right now, right here on our stage to maybe tell us. Queen, welcome.
Listen.
Good to have you.
Yes.
You seem to be in good spirits.
Always.
Good.
Yeah,
Nice.
man.
All right. So what is your understanding of what the gay community's beef with you? What are they saying? What do they want of you?
Well, first of all, I want to say to my fans out there who not seen me for this long while, big up yourself, love you. Thank you so much for the overwhelming support. I don't think the gay community have a beef with Queen Ifrica, per se. I think what's happening is there's an agenda, and it's more of an attack on freedom of speech. So you're not allowed anymore to say, if you're straight, is either you're going to speak on behalf of the gay community or you're not going to say anything at all. It's more something, from looking on, it's more something like that that's taking place. Anybody that knows my music knows that my music is as far away from AIDS and murder music as you could get. You know,
Yes.
my music is a balanced music. I deal with current affairs and topical issues on all aspects of society, including the gay community in the form of Daddy Don't Touch Me There and other topics that would affect that community. Also, where pedophilia and all those kind of things are concerned. So, you know, I would say to come at a Queen Ifrica calling, as one of the articles I saw, stating that my song Daddy is responsible for a lot of the deaths in the gay community. I think that's pushing the button a little bit right there, you know. Yes, those are some of the things that are said about my music, and I'm thinking that the people who are writing these articles and who are behind this propaganda machine should really get their facts together before they go at attacking someone's reputation.
Because that was clearly somebody who doesn't even know the song.
That's somebody who's they're getting some information that they're not getting correct information about Queen Ifrica and what Queen Ifrica does in music.
So your words, the words at the National Independence Gala.
Yes, you want to hear the exact words?
Yes.
The exact words were, all of the people there at the National Stadium, put up your hand in the air, all straight people, man and woman, me say, without apology.
Okay.
Those were the exact words.
So you're speaking to your sexual preference.
As an heterosexual, as a woman, and as a mother, yes.
And so what is the pushback from the gay community about that?
The pushback from the gay community about that, as I said before, there is a push by the gay community to silence anyone that dares to speak about what they believe in. So in other words, to try to get it out in layman's term, the gay community over the years have been trying to get what is called their rights.
Yes.
Their rights to exercise their sexual preferences and all the other things that they have been advocating for themselves over the years. But as time went by, we saw where it began to take a turn where as straight people then or heterosexual people, people were now becoming afraid to even talk about this thing. In your workplace, in the church, wherever you are in society, people are becoming more and more afraid of saying that they believe in heterosexuality in opposed to homosexuality, because they might lose their job. In the case of entertainers, not only myself, but you look at Danny McClurkin, you look at in sports, you look at the guy from Dolphins in Miami that dared to tweet about the guy
Professor
that came
Bain at the youth.
Professor Bain at the youth. So it's a trend now that they're, I think what I'd like to say is that they're taking a turn for the worse, and they are becoming self-destructive in their quest to get the rights that they so need in order for them to be accepted. So what we're saying is, if I come on a stage as Queen Ifrica and say, all straight people, put your hand up in the air, man and woman, me say without apology.
Yes.
That, I don't hear hate in that. I don't hear murder in that. I don't hear violence in that. I hear somebody stating who they are and what they believe in.
How about discrimination, though? Because they could say it's you're discriminating against them.
It could be discrimination if they're asking for the right to be homosexuals, because that in itself could be classified as discriminating against the heterosexual community also. So what we're looking for is a level playing field. You cannot use vindictiveness to get your point across, because to be fair to the heterosexual community...
This is how you feel genuinely and sincerely
not only
about
me,
this campaign.
Yes.
That they are pushing the envelope now in Jamaica. Just
not,
in Jamaica,
not only
worldwide.
in Jamaica, in the entire world. The people are now... in other words, we're having a discussion, and we're saying then that if the gay community is going to get the support from the heterosexual community, it's going to be from a hypocritical point of view, because we're only going to say we respect you because we're afraid of what you might do to us in terms of our jobs and the other parts of our livelihood or our daily well-being that you target, because it is said that the gay community everywhere is thrown around about the power of the gay community. And we're saying you're using your power to shut down somebody or something or someone who wants to say they're heterosexual in opposed to you wanting to say that you're homosexual.
And you have no problem with them claiming their rights?
What you do in your bedroom is your personal business. What I do in my bedroom is my personal business. Why are we having this big confrontation around the world is beyond me, and not only me, but as you can see, the public in general is actually at a point of confusion, because people really want to understand what is the message that the gay community is really trying to get across. Is it that you're saying to us that there was a pamphlet issued out somewhere which says you're not supposed to even talk about your sexual preference, because you talking about your sexual preference is going to be discrimination against me being an homosexual? It is unfair and it is unbecoming.
Have you had dialogue with them, the gay community?
I have friends. I have friends in the gay community. And my reason for having friends in the gay community is to understand their world. I have counseled over 30-odd homosexual youths. I must tell this story while I get the chance now.
Yes.
God rest her soul, Mrs. Edda Littlewhite. She had an organization when she was alive where she deals with food and housekeeping, stuff like that. She used to have a little school where she taught people.
The Household Helpers
Association
was formed by her.
Exactly.
Right.
So she had this thing where she had she said at her workplace, she had to walk past prostitutes to go into her workplace, and it was upsetting to her. So she had an idea to bring them off the street into her establishment.
Male prostitutes?
Male and female prostitutes. Okay. And she brought them in, gave them a skill. At the end of the process, she had a graduation ceremony for them. I think maybe about 100 or a little less.
Yes.
And she said, after calling around in the industry everywhere, nobody answered. And lo and behold, she picked up her phone and she called Tony Rebel, the art call, saying, and he answered. And yes. Being a part of the camp, he invited me and another artist from the camp to come with him. And of course, we said yes, because if Rebel say yes, we are going to say yes. So we went together just to assist her When we went there, we spoke to them, we performed, and she wanted us to give a goodly word to them to encourage them that they don't have to be on the street selling their bodies in order to survive.
Yes.
But the gist of this story is when the function was over, I took it upon myself to ask her and her staff if I could speak to the men in the group, because I wanted a one-on-one to understand them as to why is it that as young men, none of them were in their 30s as yet, I wanted to know why is it that they were on the streets selling their bodies and so young and so cute and looking so good and everything. They were from all sectors of society, from the inner city, from uptown, from rural Jamaica. And one of the frightening things that I found out from them was, first thing I asked them was, what was the gay community's idea of a Queen Ifrica? One of them said, well, them say you better.
Okay.
But because they said, but they said they don't really have any problem with me because just the song I did, that Keep It To Yourself, was what they had an issue about. Anyway, I spoke to them, I asked them one-on-one, one by one, what is this that had them there? One of them came from Portland. He was molested. His father is a pastor, and his father left him next door with a member of the church, and he was molested by that man. And when he spoke, when he told everybody about it, they said he was lying, and they beat him and run him out of the community and called him a liar, right? Another one from Clarendon, he was raped on his way from school. He got a ride from an individual who stopped to give him a ride in the rain and raped him. There was this other one there. He was full-blown HIV, and he was telling me of one of the institutions, I'm not going to shoot them out right now, but he was telling me of one of these so-called institutions that are there to help the vulnerable and the minority among us, that they were having unprotected sex with him, knowing that he's HIV positive, and allowing him to be, I think he's about dead now, because this is about like 3 years ago. He was allowed to go into Halfway Tree to sell his body and to come back into this institution as a part of their protective shield. Now, Winford, that doesn't sound like an homophobic person to you, does it? No. Exactly. So that is why we're having this debate now, who exactly is an homophobic? Is it that you're homophobic because you dare to speak the truth about the secrets of the homosexual society? Or is it because you say you want to celebrate your heterosexuality?
Another concern that some are expressing is a song about no fish in a
yes.
dish.
Yes.
Those lines.
Yes.
How do you explain that one?
Let me explain it completely for you. That song was written when a book was introduced into our curriculum without the knowledge of our parents. It was introduced into our school curriculum. And if you listen to this song, that's why we have a new phrase now that we say, listen for yourself. Because if you listen to this song, it is simply saying that if that's what you want to do, do it. Yes. Keep it to yourself. Don't teach our kids that, because if you're going to give books into our curriculum, that is going to teach our kids how to have sex or homosexual sex, and not necessarily teaching them how to have heterosexual sex also. That means that it's one-sided. So that was one of the issues. As a catalyst, a conduit for the people, that's what Queen Ifrica does. I look into society, look at the ills of society, the good of society, the bad of society, and I put it in a song, which is what music is supposed to do. Music is supposed to be the voice of the voiceless. So that's where that song came from. If me say I don't want no fish in my ital dish, me a Rasta.
Of course.
I eat ital.
So it's subject to interpretation.
Interpret any way you want to
yes.
interpret it. It's up to you. But the song is what it is. The song was speaking to a specific issue. When I did that song in Winford, I wanted the gay community to come to me to have that dialogue about how it is that we are educating our kids, because the gay community is in the lead where educating our kids are concerned. They're in our sitcoms, they're in our cartoons, they're in our commercials, they're in our movies. The gay community has their voices and their beliefs in every aspect of our society. In music, for instance, Winford, there's a song called Same Love. right? That's a
Yes.
very popular homosexual gay song that this girl and this man is singing about, you keep me warm and all the things. There's no outcry from the heterosexual community to say, how dare you play this song on my radio? But you're going to say to Queen Ifrica that you can't come to this place to perform because you're 8 artists. That is propaganda, and that is trying to belittle my character and also to destroy my perfect reputation with the people.
It sounds like a misrepresentation of who you are.
Yes, exactly it is. It is.
And where you are on the issue.
Exactly, it is. And I'm using your medium because I know you go to millions of people all over your program big like that to say to the gay community that this is not the way to go about seeking about your rights.
Yes.
Shutting down people's voice because Professor Bain dared to give his expert analysis on a topic that I saw a member of the Medical Association of Jamaica in the news the other day saying that HIV and cancer accounts for 70% of deaths here in Jamaica. And these are some of the things that the gay community have to truly accept everything about what you're doing. Accept everything about your practice, and so that people can accept you. You cannot accept just the pleasure of having anal sex and not talk about the HIV that comes with it. That makes you irresponsible.
No one no fishing on me idle dish to see my son become a father. My greatest wish, the situation kind of very ticklish, but everybody